share with you what happened. So in our university, every week we had events like wine tasting events. We used to have celebrities coming. We used to have experts from different fields coming and sharing their knowledge. And in one such event, we had a speaker who was very good. He connected with the audience instantly. There was humor, there was content, there were case studies. Everything was going on super. I mean, we were all enjoying it. Then suddenly something happened. After his speech, the way he stood was, do you have any questions? And that actually was a moment when everything there was a shift in the emotions of the entire room. Okay? Shift in energy of the entire room. Suddenly, people who were commenting, people who were asking questions, people who were jumping and laughing, they were all silent. Okay? And that was a moment when I realized that something discomforting happened, and the questions I had just a moment ago, I was blank. And that made me curious, and since then I've been into observing people. I've been enjoying interacting with people, observing them minutely, the micro expressions, and that's how I got into image management. Alright, you have a picture in front of you. Tell me what you feel about it. You don't know this person, you're looking at him for the first time. I want you to all look at him and then tell me what is your first impression regarding this guy. He's wearing a suit, he's wearing glasses, he's standing, he's not doing anything weird, but yeah.
He's a very happy-go-lucky fellow.
Okay.
And he's having a very don't-care attitude.
I don't care attitude?
I mean, he's very freaky.
Okay.
I mean, he's like, I am what I am and I carry myself with that attitude.
Okay. And can you explain a bit further what made you say that?
See, what I did is, I looked at his personality.
Okay.
And I just imagined.
Okay.
And those traits what are reflected on his face, right, they came in my mind.
Okay.
So on those basis, then I made an entire picture of him.
Okay. So did it happen in fraction of seconds?
Yes.
Okay. So within like 3 to 7 seconds, you already knew something about this person,
And
or you thought you knew something
thing is
about.
coming, right? That like he is trying to show some expression to someone, or he's about to.
Maybe he wants to hide something because he's wearing glasses.
No, he's not hiding anything.
Okay.
He's just wearing glasses because I think that is his style.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just I'm saying for my imagination.
Of course, perception. Yeah.
Confident. He looks confident.
He looks confident. Okay.
He is hiding his actual persona.
Okay.
By wearing glasses,
Okay.
black like goggles, whatever.
Okay.
And doesn't goggles doesn't soon seems to be the whole wearing the goggles is hiding the whole person.
Okay.
And it reflects his style. And he is indeed a happy man.
He's a happy man. Okay.
He's also, I mean, this is another thing that is putting up in my mind because a lot of things are coming up. He has come for some moment, and he's in a state in which he's presenting himself. He wants some social approval, I guess.
Okay. He wants an approval.
I mean,
okay.
he's looking at something, and he's waiting for some responses.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Actually, what I feel that someone is taking his click and he is like doing a pose.
Okay. All right. The same person, same kind of clothes, and now what the impression is.
Confident.
He's confident.
He's looking very positive and
He looks someone who is very positive, open, receptive.
Yes.
Okay.
Professionally dressed up.
Professional. He
Dressed
looks
up.
like a professional.
Like
He looks like a leader.
He looks like a leader. Okay. The same kind of attire. Same person, He was also wearing a suit. This man is also wearing a suit. Tell me what's the difference? The color, the fit. Can you see the attitude?
Yes, the hand. Body language.
Body language, absolutely.
And the smile, what he was doing in the previous slide was different.
That was conscious.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Work in body shape.
Okay. All right. What we have learned just few seconds ago is that our minds, they take snap judgments of people within very few seconds. So the moment you meet a stranger, the moment you meet someone for the first time, that person already has made up his mind, what is he going to think about you, right? Whatever you say, whatever you do, later goes through that filter of first impressions. And that is why it is said that first impressions are very crucial, okay? Even for you and for the candidate. So as much it is important for the candidate, it is very important for you, especially when we are talking about personal branding and corporate branding. Because you are the brand ambassadors of your own company, right? So you carry your own personal brand and your company's brand. So the brain is that powerful, and it takes snap judgments. And how powerful it is, we'll see. Let's do an activity where I need some papers, some plain papers. If you can. Okay. So I need one paper. Okay. Make a roll of this paper like this, and tell me if anybody has ever done this exercise before. The roll has to be the size of your eye, one eye. It should cover your one eye. You have to keep both your eyes open. Have you done this before? Okay, so you're happy doing it? Okay. Alright. You have to cover your one eye, but you have to keep both your eyes open. Okay? Cover your eyes, everyone. Yes. And then put your palm in the middle of this paper. In the middle of this paper, in the middle of this roll, and tell me what you see. In the middle of this roll, keep both your eyes open, cover one eye, put a hand here, and tell me what you see. The hand should touch the paper. The hand should touch the paper, like this. Hand should touch the paper like this. It should touch the paper. Can you help me help her with that? It should touch the paper. Yes. I'm waiting for your answers. What do you see? Really? How? Okay, so we have two eyes, okay, but each eye looks at things from different angles, and that is something that helps us look at things from 3 dimensions and helps us take judgments, okay. But when we block the vision of one eye, our brain has to concentrate in 2 directions because both the eyes are open. So we see from here, and we also have this eye open, but then we have a blockage, okay. So the mind gets confused, and that is why, yes, because that image is already stored in our mind, and that image we see here, and we feel that there is a hole in our hand, but there is not, okay. So that's how powerful our brains are, and that is why it is said that it takes 1,000 negative impressions. It takes 1,000 negative impressions, hear me properly, to nullify, 1,000 positive impressions to nullify 1 negative impression. And I'm serious when I say that. So if you got your first impression wrong, you really have to work hard, okay, to nullify it. So we'll find solutions to how simply we can do it. We have simplified solutions that we're going to discuss today. Okay. Now, what happens is when we talk about first impressions, we start talking about the science behind it. First impressions means confidence, etiquette, appearance, body language, but we forget the attitude, and that's the main component. There's a saying and there are two approaches. One is a common approach and one is a leader's approach. Okay, two first impressions. I'll share both with you and you'll have to tell me which one's the leader's approach. How many of you agree with this? What I do plus how I do what I do makes me who I am. Tell me your understanding of this approach.
How I do is who I am.
Help me understand.
So, this is a leader's approach. What you want to?
I'll tell that later. I want you to explain me what is your understanding of this approach. What you do, see, this is a very common approach where people think that what I do and how I do it, that will make me as someone. Okay, and against that, there's one more approach which says, pretty much what Mr. Mank was trying to say. And this is a leader's approach. Now tell me your understanding of this approach and the difference between this approach and this approach. I know you are tired, but yeah.
I mean, according to me, the first thing above the line states that you have a perception that people will decide how I am. And
Yes.
the second perception has the second thing has that I will decide how I am to the people.
Yes. So, tell me the difference and what according to you is the right approach.
Of course, the second approach.
Yes. How many of you think the second approach is better than the first approach? But that's not usually happens. We normally tend to pick up this approach over this approach. And that is why we did this exercise of defining ourselves into one word. Because in this busy life, we don't get time to think in words. We don't get time to think who we are. We forget that and we start adopting this approach. What happens is that we are not able to build rapport with people that easily. Why? We're looking for external comforts. This is very external. And what happens is we, along with people, we attach labels to ourselves and that makes us who we are. Full of labels and we forget who we are. So when it comes to giving yourself one name, you have to think so much and still. So in a lot of my sessions, people are not able to come up with a word. And that is why I said no happy, no perfect, no lucky. People do that. Okay? Now, because first impressions is more about attitude, it is important that we know who we are, knowing ourselves, which is called self-mastery. And the two will always go together. If one is missing, you either end up being arrogant or low confident. Okay? So this was about approach and the attitude that we have to carry for first impressions. before we move forward, do you have any questions regarding this? Before we move towards the technical details as to how we should do it, do you have any questions regarding this, the approach? So I couple of days back when I was doing
The second approach
Yes.
is more selfish.
is more selfish. Okay, help me
Second approach,
understand
who I
why.
am or how I am,
Okay,
it's more selfish.
okay, and why do you think that makes you selfish?
Not getting it?
Okay, you say this approach sounds selfish. Why do you say that?
Because if I have to run a company, it's a teamwork. If my name is Anupam, I will say Anupam and company. I'm not the only person who is running it. So who I am and how I am depicts my self-interest,
Okay,
not interest in totality.
okay,
So this is what I feel what I am trying to do.
okay. Now, this is less about arrogance and this is more about having something called self-awareness. Okay? What this means actually is that whatever you do is a result of that innate quality. In this approach, what happens is, okay, like I said, we all know the science of what to wear, what to do, how to talk. Okay? And there have been some people who have been asking me in all my sessions is that what if everyone dresses like the same kind of clothes, they talk the same kind of language, they follow the same kind of etiquettes? What will happen? We all will look the same and still the problem will persist. Right? Okay. The second approach can help you stand out. It is more about that, it is more about standing out. How? The first approach, what I do, how I do makes me who I am, will bring you in war of clothes. Okay, because it will be only limited to the science. Robotic. The second approach is more personal, adding your personal touch to everything you do. Okay, I'll give you an example of a chef. The chef is taught how to cook, okay, how to cut the vegetables, how to bake, how to fry things, what exactly should be the proportions. But what does an exceptional chef do?
It's on taste.
Yes, and that makes his own, personal discovery of a wonderful dish. It's the same. Okay, it's more about developing an attitude wherein you are with your own self and whatever